Today we're checking out EG4's Chargeverter versus the new EcoWorthy 100 amp charger. Now I bought this unit over a year ago at around $550 versus this new one that just was recently released is now coming out at a price of about $490. So we're going to compare both of these along with some of the features they have, not to mention the 2-wire generator start option, just to show you how they function as far as the startup feature and also the shutoff feature. Now if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss other content like this coming out soon. Now I've already done a review on both of these units, so we'll do a quick recap on just some of the most important things like what this comes with versus what this comes with, show you how I kind of used it a little bit, and then I'll show you the differences, and then hopefully by the end of this video you'll know maybe which one of these is going to be better for you. Now the EG4 unit does come with a 240 volt cable which is detachable, but they also give you an option for a 120 volt cable which also has this same quick connect. This is an option that you can buy, which I'll leave some information below if you're looking for this and you already have this, but this again allows you to do the 120 volt charging, but you can also do an adapter if you want. This adapter allows you to go from a L1430 plug, which comes with this unit, and then you can step down to say a 30 amp plug, and then you can do 120 volt charging this way. Now the EcoWorthy unit comes with their cable already attached, same plug, L1430 for 240 volt. But you can also use this same adapter to go from the 240 volt with this L1430 same connection and then go back down to 120 volts on say this 30 amp style plug. Now EcoWorthy actually provides a plug inside the kit, so if you didn't want this one you just simply detach this plug, and instead of the L1430 you can use the L530 so you can go directly to 120 volt charging. Because there's actually only 3 wires in here, it actually makes it really easy to wire up this one. And again, when it comes to wiring this up, it's in the manual, it's super easy to do. You're just literally moving one wire over and that's really about it. Now the EcoWorthy battery cables are going to come with an Anderson style connector, which I really like this because this is easy to source and you can build your own cables without having to get the real expensive adapters, kind of like this one uses. And then this will just come with ring terminals on the end of it, and you can see the gauge cable they use too. This is a number 2 wire, so super thick conductor wire when you're going to say maybe bus bars to charge up your battery systems. Now the EG4 will come with a number 4 wire and also these quick connectors, so this makes it really easy to just kind of couple them in back and forth if you wanted to take them off and remove them. I also modified this and ended up cutting off the wire that had the ring terminals on it. And then I took this cable here, which has this Anderson connector, and this just simply plugs into the side of my battery. I made a couple quick connectors. This was a DIY thing that I ended up doing to make it really simple and real easy to charge up my battery unit. And if you're interested in how I did that, I'll leave a link down below the video, and that way it shows you how I did it, and maybe that'll help you out. Now again, because this has the Anderson connector, it made it actually really easy for me to just take this, plug it in, and now I could charge my batteries real quick. So it was really simple to switch over to this unit because it already had the Anderson connector in it, so I thought that was pretty cool, at least for my personal use. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I want to show you some of the testing as far as how these react a little bit differently. Now, as we look at the screen on the EG4, you'll see that it has the 4 buttons below. This is going to be your escape, your up, down, and your enter. So this allows you to work through the functions on the screen, and then it'll show you your voltage, also state of charge, your battery start voltage, and also some other features. So you simply scroll around this using the up or down arrow, and then you can go to your current selection and select that as far as what you want your current charging to be, state of charge stop or battery stop depending on when you want it to start charging and stopping. You press the enter button, press the up and down, kind of go back and forth. It's not quite as intuitive. I think this could have been designed maybe slightly a little bit better, but after you get using it and get your settings kind of set, well, then you're kind of not really messing with it so much anymore. But overall it works, and it's just depending, I guess, on how you're going to use it. If you're going to change settings all the time, well, then that could be a little bit annoying. Versus if we look at the EcoWorthy and its display, You can see on the screen it also has 4 buttons on the right. It'll show you your voltage, your current, the amount of power that's being pushed out into your batteries. If you press enter, this allows you to then change your current, and you can also select as far as the other features like your starting and your stopping for state of charge, or battery start stop as far as what the voltage is. And then you just simply press the up and down arrows, and this will allow you to move around through the menu. And then you also have AC to DC start stop, which you can see when it is off, then the unit will just sit idle, and then you can turn it back on again to start charging, depending if you want to manually control it or not. And not to mention the screen just on this one is a heck of a lot easier to read, especially just off angle. And just to show you as far as standby power, when these are plugged in, they're going to use power pretty much consistently. The fan's going to run, but the EcoWorthy unit, if you leave it plugged into an AC source, it's going to start using about 35 watts as it just sits here, because once it sees AC power, it powers on and it starts using a little bit as far as a cooling fan goes. Now, if you look at the EG4 unit and you plug it in again to an AC source, it's also going to do the same thing, but it's going to use really only a couple watts less at about 32 to 33 watts while it's just plugged in. So again, both of these use power as they're plugged into an AC source, just to let you know. Now, one of the things I like about the EcoWorthy unit is that when you are charging at, say, 100 amps, and maybe you want to drop down to 80 amps or 70, it ends up being to where you can change it on the fly and it doesn't reset. So that means you just simply press enter, press the down arrow, and then it'll self-adjust as you're doing it, which is nice. It doesn't stop and start like this one does. This one will simply just follow along with you and adjust accordingly to whatever you set it at. Versus the EG4 charger, let's say you're charging it maybe 60 amps and you want to lower it down a little bit. Well, you would go in, change your current to a lower or higher setting, but once you press the enter button, you will see that it will fully start over. Your current goes down to 0, and then it'll slowly ramp back up again. Now, for some people that may not be a big deal. For some people, they may not like that. It just all depends. I kind of like the fact that this one's self-adjusted right on the fly, and it only went down or up as you needed it to. Okay, so let's go outside, get this hooked up to the 2-wire start generator, and then we'll come back in. I'll show you a couple other little things that you may want to know, and then kind of give you some final thoughts. Okay, so here we are outside, and this is the generator we're going to use. It's an inverter generator, but this is one of the only ones available, which there's supposed to be more coming, but this is one that has a 2-wire start. If you can see here, it says automatic generator start. So we're going to plug in this little supplied cable, and then when it comes to your wiring, all you have to do is look inside the manual. It'll tell you which one is normally open and then normally closed. That way, it'll end up just sending a signal, contact the 2 wires together, which will then make that generator start up and automatically start charging. And for this generator, we have to press the on button, and then we're going to go down here to automatic generator start switch. We're going to turn this on, and now that is going to wait for a signal. When the voltage gets low enough, then this will automatically turn on and then start putting out power. Now we're going to use the EcoWorthy first. Now if you take a look, this is the current voltage. Now for this one, it only goes down to a certain amount as far as its start stop. So as you go down here, you can do starting at percentage if you want, but hooking up to voltage is actually the easiest. And so what we're going to do is set this up. So I'm going to have this come on at what our highest setting is going to be, which is going to be 47.1 volts. That's the highest you can set this at for where to start, which will be at about 15%, I believe, on the battery. Press enter, so that should be good. Then battery stop. We're just going to leave it at 50 volts because we're not going to charge very long. So current voltage, we'll go back through. This is going to be the charging amps that we're going to set the generator at. So 70 amps, and we'll see what the total wattage is on that. And then run through to make sure all of our settings are still there. And so now all we have to do is wait for the voltage here to get down low enough, and then the generator will automatically start. And make sure you plug in your communication cable, or nothing's going to happen. Okay, this is going to be starting up here any second, so we're going to wait for the generator to kick on. I just moved it over there, so should be any minute. All right, well, okay, there it goes. All right, so it's started. Now let's come over here and take a look. Okay, so as we look here, this is one of the things I like about this unit, is that you see how much output at the moment. it's only doing a couple amps, and you can see the voltage has already gone up some. But what I like about this is that it slowly ramps. It's going to take 45 seconds to a minute before this even starts to move. Which, what that does is allows your generator to warm up. So if it's really cold outside, you're not supposed to really put a big load on it right away and just have it ramp up like crazy. So I'm going to skip this part of the video until it starts to move. Okay, now we made it all the way to our load at 70 amps, which this is how much power is going into your batteries. Okay, now that we're getting closer to our voltage, you're going to see the amperage now start to ramp down. You see it going down as we're getting close to that voltage? So I'll fast forward this part of the video. It should last about 2 or 3 minutes longer. Okay, so I cheated because I was just taking forever to get that last percent, but you can kind of get the idea of what it does. So we're going to move on to the EG4 unit now and then see how well that one does. Now when it comes to this unit, it's really hard to see, but I do want to try to show you here. So if you can see right here, battery start voltage is at 48. And then battery stop, as you can see right there, it says 53 volts. So this is going to start up here pretty quick. Okay, I actually had to reset my startup voltage to 46 because I had to swap the wire real quick. So we should see this now kick on here pretty quick. So start up at 46, again with the same current of 70 amps, and we'll see how long it takes to ramp up to that 70. Okay, we'll watch this ramp up here. It's going to take a few seconds. So you can see now we're ramping up. The other one stopped at about 6 or 7 amps. And then it took about a good minute for it to actually start moving again. Okay, we've now hit our target charging at 70 amps. So not quite as long as it took for the EcoWorthy, but and so now we'll kind of see how it ramps down here in about 10 minutes. And so now you can see our target voltage for 51, but we haven't ramped down at all. We're still at the full amount of load that is on the generator. So that guy is still fully loaded. Oh, and there it went. Just a full shutoff at full load, and that's one thing I really didn't like about this guy down here, is that this thing just shuts it off, and that is not what you want. So the engine actually gets hotter right now than it was when it was running, because all that air is just no longer moving across the engine. The inverter board is getting hotter as it just sits right next to the engine and gets hot. So that's one thing I don't like about this one, is it is the full shut off. So that is one thing I do like about the EcoWorthy, is that gradual ramp down allows the engine to cool down, everything else to cool down as well. So I wish this had a way to fix that or change it, but it doesn't. Okay, so now that you see how that reacted with the generator, that was one of the things I really didn't like about the EG4 unit, is that when you are charging it and then it hits that target voltage, boom, hard shut off on the generator, and then your generator heat soaks, gets really hot, and that can kind of put extra wear and stress on the generator because it's heat soaking that engine, not to mention the inverter board and more. So I kind of wish this had a ramp down feature much like this one does. That's actually a really cool thing that I didn't really know this did until I played with it for a while. Now I also did some full load testing as well on these units. I ended up setting up the EG4 unit and let it sit at a 100 amp load for over 10 minutes. I then checked the output of the unit just to see with this clamp meter here, and you can see that we're running just a little over 96 amps. I also did thermal imaging on the unit just to see if we could find any hot spots or maybe problematic areas, which you can see on the vent side where the exhaust is. That was really the hottest area at about 124 degrees, which that's going to be common. So as far as anything getting overly hot, this unit looked like it performed just fine, and I haven't really had any issues with this since I bought it. Now I did do a sound check as well, and I ended up doing this at about 2 feet and then also 3 feet just to give you an idea. This is what it sounds like. Now I don't know a lot of people who maybe are just going to sit right next to this, but it is a little bit loud and they will ramp up all the way to that full sound once you hit about a 50% load. Now I did do the same test with the EcoWorthy unit, letting it sit for 10 minutes before I came back. And so again, I ended up grabbing my clamp meter, and to my surprise, it was just a little bit over 100 amps. So pretty surprising that under the same test, same conditions, this was putting out more total power. And also if we look at the thermal imaging, again, you can see nothing that stands out. All the cables, as far as the exhaust, everything looks pretty much identical to the EG4 unit. But when it does come to how loud this one actually was a little bit quieter if you want to take a listen here. And when you listen to both of these, they sound really close and identical, like the builds are really close. But I did kind of peek inside. As far as the build, it looks like they are slightly different, but I wouldn't be surprised if I took these apart. You would probably see some pretty similar components. But this one being newer, you're just gonna see newer components. Overall, this one again being a little bit quieter and putting out more consistent power. Now I did do another test too where I did 120 volt charging on this, and one of the things that I do like on the EcoWorthy unit is that if it notices it has a 120 volt source, well, it automatically will back down. If you set this at say 70 amps, well, it won't actually go over that. It'll stop you at 60, which was kind of the cool thing because if you did set it to say 70 or 80 amps, well, then it's going to draw more than what that 30 amp plug can handle. So it is nice that it recognizes a 120 volt source and automatically gives you that limit of say 60 amps. Some of the things I noticed on this particular unit, if you do the 120 volt charging, and if you use a 240 to 120 volt step down to the 30 amp, you can actually set this much higher than what that 30 amp cable or 30 amp plug is able to go. And so if you look here, you can see it's drawing quite a bit more than the 30 amps or 3600 watts. And it took a couple minutes for it actually to shut off. But the only reason this did shut off though is because of the unit that it was drawing the power from recognized that it wasn't able to hold that load, and so it actually shut itself off, not this. Now if you have this plugged into a 120 volt source, more than likely it's going to trip because it's going to recognize you're trying to pull more amperage than that plug is allowed. So the only thing is that you have to pay attention to what you have this plugged into, but also this one as well if you had it plugged into say a 15 amp, because you could do the same thing if you went from a 30 to say a 15 amp type. But again, both of these are very capable units, but overall, I really kind of like this EcoWorthy unit. It's a lot easier to use. It's also cheaper. They give you the adapter cable. They give you bigger size conductor wires at being a 2-gauge wire. And I really like the Anderson connection point on this side. It makes it easy to make other cables if you want to do maybe a specialty cable. I've actually done this using some MC4s and charging up power stations and more. And not to mention, this unit actually goes on sale quite a bit more than this one does. It really doesn't go on sale that often. It's pretty much at a set price. So, okay, now that you've seen the information on both of these units, which one would you go for? I do have a discount code down below if you would like to check it out. I hope the information in this video helped you out, and I hope to see you guys in another one.